before we actually get started, I would like to know where are you all connecting from? Which city are you connecting from? If you can, please feel free to type it in the chat box. We are such a, we are so closely connected by just one digital platform, right? The world, the whole country seems just so small on this platform, Bangalore. So I am connecting from Bangalore. I am Kokila. I am a corporate trainer, and I'm just so very excited to be exchanging this conversation with all of you today. Yes? All right. Okay, so as we start, you must have seen 2025, and we are in the third month of 2026. Have you all observed that there were so many changes happening in the beginning of 2026? Yeah, are you with me on this? Give me a thumbs up if you've observed that there were so many changes that came, right? Yes. I remember when we started 2026 January, there was so much of news about AI, a lot of AI companies that were coming out in the open. There was Anthropic that came, Claude or AI, new versions that are coming along. And not just the AI, there's been changes, different changes across the workplace itself, right? So today we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what is changing at our workplace this year and how can we navigate those through changes in a way that works for us. Yes. So Ankit, if I may just request for you to put up that poll. So everybody, we will just answer a quick question, right? You all must have seen so many changes that are happening over the last 1 year. What is the biggest change that you must have seen or experienced? Is it hybrid or remote work? Is it more AI tools and more automation coming out in your tasks? Is it the pressures of working faster, more effectively? Is it handling multiple roles at work? Or is it the just need for constant learning? Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, right? So you must have seen so many changes that are happening, isn't it? So 2026 is a year of constant change. And how can we adapt to that change? Yes, I see. I see that. I see at the highest is the AI and the automation. So are you all seeing this, seeing it around you, or are you experiencing it at your work? Everybody, please respond in your chat box. Feel free to answer in your chat box. Is it something that you're seeing around, or is it something that you're experiencing as a part of your work? AI for Scrum Master, seeing around. Yes, yes. It's coming out, and very soon it's going to be a part of our world. It's already a part of our world, isn't it? Right? How many times we go and we are asking questions and finding information on ChatGPT, on Gemini, and now Claude AI. Now we are seeing that a lot of things are changing this year, right? So, but then what exactly, how is work changing for all of us? Now, imagine someone who started out their career about 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, our job description was very clear, right? We were hired for one main skill. Our career path was very straightforward. We worked in one role and then we got promoted and we moved to the next role. So learning was basically through formal trainings or through the experience that we gained over time. Yes, do you agree with me on this, everybody? Yes, that's how it was 10 years ago. Yes, everybody is looking, talking, and adapting to AI. So true. But what is the situation right now? There's so many changes. How is work changing? First thing is jobs are becoming multi-skill based. So we as employees, we are no longer expected to just rely on one capability, right? A marketing professional might need data skills. A technical professional may need, along with the functional skills or technical skills, might need strong communication and collaboration skills. So success today often comes from combining multiple skills. Everybody, are you all seeing that in your work? Right? Just one skill is not enough. Yes? Absolutely. And then the second aspect that is changing is our careers are becoming non-linear. So instead of one straight ladder, careers today look more like a lattice or a journey through many turns, right? Think of it like a roller coaster ride. Think of it like a walk in the forest with many routes, not just one. So people are moving more across different roles, different projects, industries, and sometimes they're making completely different career decisions. So growth today comes from experience and not just a single title. Are you seeing that as well? And are you experiencing that need? Yeah. And then third is continuous learning, the need for continuous learning. Now, the way technology is changing. So everybody, are you observing the way technology and innovation is changing? How every 3 months there is a new update, there is a new technology, there is a new tool. Are you all seeing that? Yeah. So, so learning again is no longer something that we do once at the beginning of our career, right? So it's become a lifelong process because technology is changing every 3 months, 4 months. Our learning also has become very continuous in nature. And finally, work itself has becoming very collaborative and digital. So the teams now work across locations, across time zones and cultures, and they are using more and more of digital tools. They are using it, we are using it for communication, for collaboration, for project management, for decision making, right? So today, the way we all are connected is also through a digital tool, a digital platform, isn't it? Yeah. 10 years ago, trainings were all in person. But today, all trainings are virtual through digital collaboration. Yes, are you with me on this? Yes, give me a thumbs up if you're with me on this. Yes. All right. So it's not just how work is changing. What is changing in that work? Let's take a look at it. Okay. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest drivers of change at workplace today. That's the technology, right? As I mentioned, every few months, the technology is constantly changing. It's evolving. But what is changing in that technology? The most popular one is of course, is the AI. We all are right now. It's like an overload of information of AI, isn't it? Right. So AI, when it started off, say about a year back or a couple of years back, it was just informational. It was just chatbot for us, isn't it? Right? It all started with ChatGPT, then Gemini came, and then it was more like an informational source for us. Any question we had, anything we wanted to, we would go and we would type the question into the chatbot. And what happened over a period of time, it started coming into how we perform our work, how we do our work. It started assisting in decision making. Now, earlier, most of the decisions relied completely on the human judgment and experience. Today, AI tools can analyze large amounts of information within seconds and provide insights that help people make better and faster decisions. But the key point here is that AI is meant to support human decision making and not replace it. The second driver of change is task automation. Automation is replacing basically all of the repetitive tasks. No, you must have experienced this in your own workplace. Some of you who work closely with technology, you must be seeing that many routine activities such as data entry, scheduling, basic analysis, and processing large volumes of information. All of these are getting automated. And what is the benefit that we have with this automation? What is the benefit of the tasks being automated for us? Anybody who would want to kind of, who's experienced this, who's experienced the benefit of it? Reduction in manual work, absolutely. Yes. You know, the biggest benefit of the task automation is that employees like us can focus on high value work. High value work like problem solving, creative thinking, building strategy, and collaboration. So third, we are moving is into data-driven. Exactly. Very true. Mayur, Vivek, Sagar, it is time saving. We can focus on more productive work. It increases productivity, saves time. Absolutely. Automation came in so that we can do more valuable work. Avoid mechanical work. Absolutely. So I agree with you on this. And the third driver is data-driven work environments. Have you observed organizations today rely heavily on data to guide decisions, whether it is customer behavior, business performance, or even employee productivity? This means more employees are increasingly expected to understand and interpret data, to develop insights, because that is the one that is going to help us in decision making. So a lot of decision making is relying on data interpretation. And finally, digital collaboration. We are getting more and more into the digital world of working, right? You must be using a lot of digital collaboration tools that's transforming how you all are working as a team. So today people collaborate across cities, countries, time zones using digital platforms. Right? We use it for meetings, brainstorming, project management, communication, and everything is happening in the virtual space. So everyone, now let me ask you a quick question. So much of technology that you're seeing, do you think this technology is replacing humans? Or is it changing how we are working? Everybody, please type in your answers, both. Please type in your answers. Is this technology replacing the human work? Or is it actually meant to change how we work? Yes, it is helping humans. It is changing how we are working. We invented technology so that it can help us, isn't it? Changing how we are working. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when we start seeing technology from that perspective, technology and change becomes our biggest power. Yeah. All right. So let me just make a small pause here. And this is something that I missed out at the beginning of the session, was to just give a little guideline. Any questions that you may have, please add those questions in the Q&A section. So there is a Q&A section in the toolbar where you can add in your questions, and we will come to that. The moment we come to the Q&A section, we will start responding to that. Okay. Also, I would recommend is please keep a notepad and a pen or a paper next to you, because this is not just an informational session. This is basically a session that is going to help you build your own future ready plan. So you may have to make a lot of notes, create a lot of reflections as a part of this training. Yes, are you all with me on this? Give me a thumbs up. Good to go? Great, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so let's briefly look at how mindsets have also changed. It's not just the technology that's changing, it's the mindset that's changing as well, right? For a long time, many workplaces operated with what we can call a fixed mindset or a traditional mindset. So it was all about stability at work, Okay. So in that model, what would happen is people worked with a very fixed role. Then the job description was very clear, outcome was very clear, and we continued to work within that scope, and we would just grow within that scope. But today, we are moving towards a flexible mindset. So employees often work across projects, collaborate with different teams. We take on the responsibilities beyond our original job description. So earlier, organizations valued stability, okay, doing the things the same way for a long period of time. But today, the focus is shifting to agility. That means the ability to respond quickly to change, ability to respond to new technologies and evolving business needs. So in the past, experience alone was enough, right? That was enough to succeed. So the longer we worked in a role, the more expertise we gained. But in today's world, experience is important, yet it must be supported by continuous learning, continuously adapting. Because industries, tools, technologies, skills are also continuously evolving, and they're evolving much faster than before. Have you observed that over the last 6 months? Things are evolving and moving very fast. And initially, work was very individual focused, but now work has become very collaborative. So the projects also involve cross-functional teams, digital collaboration, and collective problem solving. Okay. But how do we shift from the mindset of stability to agility? There has to be some way, no? There has to be some strategy, isn't it? So there are three critical areas that we need to develop in order to work with a sense of agility. Everybody, any who wants to take a guess, can you guess what those three critical areas are? What is it that we need to develop in order to work in this kind of an agile work environment? So do you really want to know what it is? Yes. If you want to know, type a Y or type a yes. Yes, we are all curious. We are all curious. At one point, I was also very curious. What is it? Right? What are the three areas? Those three areas are mindset, skill set, and tool set. So to thrive in the future workplace, we need three critical elements: the right mindset, the right skill set, and the right tool set. So you can think of this as a future-ready triangle where each side supports the other. We cannot have just the mindset, and if we don't have the skill set and tool set, absolutely we can't progress ahead. We are in a deadlock. So we need to develop all these three critical areas. So what is mindset? Everybody who wants to kind of take a guess, what is mindset? What is mindset to you? What do you understand by that? Please type in your responses. Growth mindset? Yes. Yes. Ready to adapt to new changes. Absolutely. Yes, Ishwar. Yes, Vivek. So mindset is how we approach that change. In today's fast-moving world, change is the only constant, isn't it? We are seeing new technologies, we are seeing new ways of working, new expectations from our roles. Shivangi, thought process, thinking differently. Aditya, Jishu, absolutely understanding the situation and ready to adapt to that. Thank you for sharing. So a future-ready professional has a growth mindset, which means that they stay curious, they're open to learning, and they're willing to adapt. Now, the second element is skill set. Having that is very crucial. because this is basically the capabilities that we develop to stay relevant. While functional knowledge, technical knowledge is very important, non-functional skills like adaptability, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, they are becoming more and more valuable in this era. And the third element is tool set, right? For us, tool set is available in abundance. We've got we are in an ocean of digital tools, aren't we? Right? We have access to such powerful digital tools. We've got AI tools, we've got collaboration platforms, automation tools that can help us work smarter and more efficiently. Now, the key is to learn how to use technology as an enabler rather than seeing it as a threat. So when we have the right mindset, the right skill set, and the right tool set, when all of this come together in us, we become future-ready professionals. So are you all open to being future-ready professionals today? So let's talk about mindset, right? So some of us responded very, very nicely responded. It's a growth mindset. It's the ability to adapt to situations, isn't it? So let's start with a very small exercise. Everybody, do you have a pen and paper next to you? Yeah, you can write it down. And as you write it down, please add that in the chat. I'm going to put up a question, a series of questions, and then let's try to reflect on that. Okay, so everybody think about a recent challenge or problem or a difficult situation that you experienced at work. Take a moment. Think about any difficult situation, any challenge, any problem that you experienced at your workplace. We all have challenges in our workplace. Could be a new project, maybe a new role, maybe a new requirement to work on, right? Maybe the demand to learn a new technology, a new skill, anything which you felt is a pressure or a challenge. Okay, now everybody, I'm going to ask this question. So when you face that challenge or a problem, please type in your answers. What did you learn from that experience? It could be even one word or two words. What did you learn from that experience? What did you learn from that challenge? Patience, proactiveness. Thank you, Srinivas. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, Roshan. Not to repeat the same process. Yes. Because every challenge, strategy to overcome, every challenge teaches us something. Adapt as per current changes. Absolutely. Very nice. Taking it as an opportunity. Damodar, thank you for that. So what did you learn from that challenge? Self-dependence in learning new things. Absolutely. Collaborative and open to learn. Keep learning. Yes. Focus. Thank you for sharing. Innovation. You see, the challenge, all of us have experienced challenges, and we all have different learnings from there. Commitment, continuous improvement, believing in yourself. Absolutely. Wonderful. Now, the next question, how did this challenge help you grow? How did it help you grow? Self-confidence. Everybody, please type in your answers. How did this challenge help you grow? Third question, know my potential. Thank you for sharing. Constant learning. Third question, what could you do differently next time? You had the challenge, You responded in a particular way, you had an experience. Now, what will you do different if that challenge comes back again? Yes, the challenge made you ready for next time, emotionally more stable, refine constantly, be more confident and ready, prepared well. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for putting out your learnings here. Think better and be EI stable. Yes, EI being the most critical skill these days. Thank you all. Thank you for sharing this. So what you did just now, Srinivas, improvise the process, think better, become more adaptable. Amazing. We are all having amazing learnings from challenges. Keep calm, learn, adapt, and problem solve. Absolutely. So what you did just now was actually a growth mindset exercise. You just chose to focus on the learning instead of focusing on that problem or on the failure itself. Is this exercise helping you? Is it helping you develop the right mindset? Yes. Yes, it certainly helped me when I did it some time back. 100%. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Now, a little story time. How many of you recognize this person on the screen? Please type in your responses. Who is this person? Do you recognize him? Michael Jordan, bang on. Thank you, Jishu. So, Michael Jordan. So, Michael Jordan is one of the greatest basketball player in the American NBA history. Okay. So, sometime back, I was watching this YouTube, a talk on the YouTube where he was giving an interview. And he shared that I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games, and that is why I succeed. And it got me thinking that when he's talking about success, but he's talking about the number of times that he has actually failed or been disappointed. Then I started digging into a little bit about him, what his story was. So when Michael Jordan was in high school, he actually did not make it to his school varsity's basketball team. Can you imagine that? Someone who became a global icon in basketball was initially rejected during his early years. So he went home upset, disappointed, but instead of giving up or believing that he was not good enough for this challenge, he decided to practice harder than ever before. He spent countless hours improving his skills, training, and learning from his mistakes. So, you know what? He was actually building strategy. He was working on the strategy. And so, when he said this, what he meant was very simple. He says that he must have meant that every setback became an opportunity to learn and improve. Now, seeing a challenge as an opportunity is the essence of growth mindset. It's the belief, that abilities and skills are not fixed and they can grow through consistent effort, learning, and persistence. Right? So, a growth mindset is basically a belief that our abilities, our intelligence, our skills can be developed anytime through effort, learning, and persistence. So people with growth mindset, they don't see challenges as proof that they're not capable or proof of failure. Instead, they see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. Right? Isn't developing a growth mindset a very simple perspective? It is just a change or shift in our perspective. How we see things, how do we see challenges as? All right. So that was the mindset. So the second critical area that we also spoke about was the skill set, isn't it? Yeah. So let me start with a very interesting shift we are seeing today. Earlier, we used to call them as soft skills, right? So earlier, there used to be primary skills, which is the functional or the technical skills. And then to support that, we used to have soft skills. But in today's AI-driven world, these skills are no longer soft skills. They're now being called as power skills. Because AI and automation can pretty much do the most of our functional skills. They are taking over the technical skills. They are taking over our functional skills. So developing these core power skills becomes very important because this is the one that will differentiate us as humans. Okay. So in today's workplace, 5 skills are becoming absolutely critical. One is the adaptability. Adaptability is our ability to accept changes and adjust to them. How open are we to see changes? Critical thinking. So critical thinking is it's the ability to analyze situations and making informed decisions. Collaboration, the ability to work effectively with others. Communication, the ability to express our ideas clearly and confidently. And very important one is the emotional intelligence. Because with so many changes happening, with so many challenges coming in at work, it is our ability to understand our own emotions, responding to them in a healthy way, and also responding to others. So these are called power skills because they enhance how effectively we use technology and work with people. Now, in our day-to-day life, we are constantly using these power skills. Think about your day-to-day work. Okay. Now you may have to say adjust to a new role, adjust to new tools or technologies. You may have to work with different teams. You may have to handle these changing expectations about your work. You maybe have to communicate ideas day in and day out and with clarity. And above all, you also have to manage the pressures and uncertainty, manage with being calm and composed, right? Sometimes that can be very difficult. So that's exactly where these power skills make a difference. So let me ask you a quick question, everybody. Which of these skills are you currently focusing on developing? Everyone, please type in the chat box. Which of these skills are you currently focusing on developing? Collaboration. Thank you, Vikram. Damodar, EI, yes. Critical thinking, EI. Thank you for sharing critical thinking. You see how important it is. We don't realize these are like invisible skills. Technical skills are very visible. It shows up in our work. But these are invisible skills. However, they are very powerful. Adaptability, emotional intelligence. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Now, are you all curious to hear a story? Yes? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Yes, you all want to listen to a small story about nature. Do you recognize what this creature is? Anybody? It's a chameleon. Yes, yes, it's a chameleon. That's right. So today, I'm going to tell you a very small story about chameleon. Okay. So in the forest, there lived a small chameleon, a tiny chameleon, right? Have you seen the chameleon? It's very small. It's not as strong as the lion. It's not as big as the elephant. It's not as fast as the deer. And it's not as powerful as any animal. So one day, the chameleon was sitting on the branch, on the tree, and a predator comes close. So any other animal, when the predator comes close, what do the other animals do? They either attack, they run, don't they? They escape. But what did the chameleon do? The chameleon just sat there. The chameleon didn't run, it didn't fight. What it did was it quietly changed its color. It blended into the tree. Then the danger passed. Now, another day, the weather changed. The leaves turned dry and brown. Again, what did the chameleon do? The chameleon changed, right? So, what was the biggest lesson from this is that the chameleon survives not because it is the strongest or the fastest or the biggest, because it knows how to adapt to threat. It knows how to adapt to the challenges of the environment. Isn't this interesting? Yes. So chameleon is called the master of adaptability. That's how it has survived. And in this digital era, in 2026, what we need to master is adaptability, accepting the changes and adjusting ourselves to the new change that comes at workplaces. Not because we want to just stay safe. We don't want to just stay safe and survive. We want to thrive in that environment, like how the chameleon thrives. So isn't this inspiring? Yes, I was totally inspired when I looked at the example of chameleon. All right. Now, so among all of these skills, adaptability is a primary skill to have. That's the first skill that we develop. So technology, work models, roles, expectations, all of these are constantly evolving. It is our ability to adjust, learn, and respond positively to change determines how effectively someone can remain relevant and successful. So adaptability basically means being open to new ideas and new ways of working, learning new skills when situations change, adjusting quickly to new tools, teams, processes, new roles, staying calm and focusing on the solution rather than the problem or the challenge, and seeing challenge or change as an opportunity to grow. Why is adaptability so important for us? Because that is the first skill that we need to have. Only when we are ready to adapt and adjust, only then we can develop all the other skills. Because workplaces are evolving rapidly with digital tools, with AI, with automation processes. So roles and skills are also changing and constantly shifting, right? And you may be seeing that collaboration across teams and cultures is increasing. So if people develop adaptability, they are able to navigate uncertainty, learn faster, and contribute more effectively in dynamic environments. Everybody, are you with me on this? That we first need to learn adaptability as a skill, because whenever a change comes, there is always a resistance first, right? How do we accept this change and how do we adjust to the new change? Wonderful. All right, now let's do one short exercise. Yeah, if you have your pen and paper, you can even type on the chat box, because that also helps us understand that, I'm not the only one who's going through change. There's so many like me who are going through changes. So you are able to inspire others with your responses. Okay. Now that we've been talking about skills at workplace, let's pause for a quick reflection. Okay. Now, this activity is called as the change moment, my change moment. So think about one recent change that you experienced at work, maybe over the last 1 year. Okay. Everybody type in the chat box, what was over the last 1 year, what was the change that you experienced at your work? What changed at your workplace over the last 1 year? Was it new roles? Was it more AI and automation coming? Was it the need for continuous learning? You can even write it down. AI enabling roles. Yes. Yes. And when that change came, what was your first reaction? Everybody, what was the first reaction? Were you happy about the change? Were you celebrating? No, right? It must have been overwhelming. There must have been some resistance. Yeah. Maybe some confusion because we don't know what that change will have an impact. Yes, a mix of panic, confusion, a bit of overwhelming. Yes, absolutely. And what actions did you take to adapt? Learn? Yes, absolutely. Accept? Yes, because after that change comes, even after that response or reaction, we always take some action. We do something about it, isn't it? Yes. So thank you for sharing your experiences. It's interesting to see the variety of experiences everyone has had with changes. Now, if you just observe the activity, what you just did, if you just reflect on it, right, we will observe that every change will first trigger one emotion. It can trigger confusion, uncertainty, overwhelm, anxiety, maybe a resistance, right? So it will always trigger an emotion. And then we'll also observe that as we learn to adapt, that process of adapting is never alone. We always take support. We seek support maybe from learning tools, learning platforms. We take support from our colleagues, our friends, our mentors. And then every time you reflect on how this change came and what you did to adapt to the change, it helps you to grow. Yes? Have you observed that? Can you relate to that? How the change is actually helping you grow. All right. So, we spoke about mindset, we spoke about skill set. Let's come to the tool set. So, I want to start with one question. What tools do you currently use in your day-to-day work? Everybody, please type in your responses. What are the different tools that you use? You may be using in your work, maybe collaborative tools, maybe meeting tools. We are in an ocean, we are working in an ocean of tools, automated work processes. Thank you, Mayur. So, you know, so we use large different types of tools. Emails, Teams, Zoom, project tools, AI tools. And this is the reality of today's workplace because we are surrounded by tools. We have no option but to work with them. So tool set is basically a combination of tools and technologies that help us to work efficiently, to collaborate with others, to learn continuously, and that helps us to adapt with the change faster. So in today's world, knowing how to use is important, but what is more important is not just what tools to use, how to use them in your work more efficiently. That is what is critical. So, what are the different types of tools? Right? We've got collaboration communication tools. Because we collaborate across teams, cities, countries, they help us to communicate clearly and quickly. Then we have productivity and work management tools. These tools help us to stay organized, right? They help us to track tasks, manage the deadlines, plan our work. Because today it is not just about working hard, it's also about working smart and structured. And then we've got the AI and smart work tools. I think AI is the hero, isn't it? It's got the maximum attention. This is the fastest growing category of this year. And we use these tools to save time, to automate repetitive work, generate ideas, to improve decision making. And then we've got the learning and knowledge tools. because there is always a need to constantly learn and upgrade, right? They help us to upskill and learn anytime, anywhere, and learn anything. That is a kind of accessibility that we've got now. And finally, we've got creativity and presentation tools, whether it is for making presentations, design, storytelling, right? So we've got different types of tools right now. And if we have the right mindset and the skill set, and what if you're able to use the right type of tool set at our work? Now that we have covered all the three types of sets, right? We've covered the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set. It is time for us to build our future ready plan. Everybody, are you excited to build your own future ready plan for this year? Before we build any plan, it is important to understand, it is important to first identify, where do I start with? What do I start with? Where do I stand? So in order to do that, I have a very simple question for all of you. Everybody, you can take a pen and a paper. You can type it in the chat box. And the question I have is, how would you rate yourself today? How would you rate yourself on your mindset? Rate from 1 to 10. 1 being, I really need a mindset shift. I really need to unlearn and restart on this. And 10 being, I've got it. I think I have the right mindset. I've got the growth mindset, right? So this exercise is not for me. This exercise is not to let everybody know. This exercise is for you so that you can start working on creating the right mindset, skill set, and the tool set. Okay, everyone? Yes? Okay, so please type in the chat box. Take a moment. Do you have the right mindset? Okay, how open and adaptable are you for change? You can type in from 1 to 10. How would you rate your mindset today? You can do it, type it in the box, do it on a piece of paper, but it's very important that you create this for yourself today. And how would you rate yourself for the skills for the future? Are you prepared with the right skills for the future? Do you have the right skill set? Adaptability, collaboration, communication, critical thinking. Just give yourself a score between 1 to 10. And how well is your digital tool awareness? How comfortable are you with new tools and technologies? Ishwar, I see 9. Yes, thank you. How comfortable are you with new tools and technologies? Rate yourself on that, because this is your starting point. This is where you're going to start beginning your work. Okay, so whatever your numbers are, that's your starting point. There is no good or bad here, just the awareness. Okay, all right. Now, ask yourself one simple question. Where do I need to grow the most? Where do you need to grow the most? Do you need to grow your mindset, your skill set, or tool set? Okay, Ishwar, I see Aditya 7.5, 6, 7, Vivek 8, 6, 9. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Because the sharing is the one that inspires all of us. Thank you. So which area do you want to start with first? What do you want to strengthen first? Is it the mindset, skill set, or the tool set? If you already have the mindset, start with the skill set. If you have the mindset and the skill set, then start with the tool set. Okay? Now, the next activity, the most important one, here is where we create our future readiness plan. Everybody, I want you to answer. Type in the chat box or write it down for yourself. Take a moment and write your 2026 future ready plan. What is that one mindset that you will strengthen? What is that one mindset are you going to strengthen? What is that one skill that you will develop? Write it down for yourself. What skill do you want to start developing? You're making your plan today. And what tool or technology are you going to learn over the next 3 months? So this future ready plan is for the next 3 months, because change happens every 3 months. Growth happens every 3 months. Okay. Yeah. So you can keep it very simple. For example, mindset, you can say, I want to be more open to change. Skill set, you can say, I want to improve, for example, digital collaboration. And tool set, you can say, I want to learn master one AI productivity tool. So this is not about doing everything. It is about doing something consistently over the next 3 months. Okay. All right. So with this, we come to our conclusion towards the end of this webinar. And so please remember, the only way to future ready plan, becoming ready for 2026 and beyond, is developing your mindset, skill set, and tool set. Okay, so before I open up for any questions, I just want to take a moment to let you all know about our Coheal mobile app. So Coheal.ai is a mobile app where you can monitor your stress, you can monitor your health vitals, because the most important thing for us to be performing well, working before all of that, is our health, a good physical and mental health. Okay, so you can use this app to monitor your wellness. The app also has very simple exercises for self-care, and it has practitioners like me when you want to reach out and talk, you can reach out to me on this app. Okay, I see a question. Please advise how one can improve their communication skills. All right, so communication is a very important life skill in itself, not just a workplace skill, right? So the idea is to first get a good clarity of our thoughts, right? If it is more about language, there are a lot of platforms, a lot of online learning that can help us improve our language. But if it is more about able to articulate, express what we are thinking clearly, right? That is the primary skill for that. Yeah. So please work on first getting a clarity of your thoughts and then expressing those thoughts clearly. And communication skill is all about practice. The more we learn to communicate, the more we are open to communicating with people, it only gets better. So I see one more question. I want to be having more patience and have pleasure in a very smooth way. Yes, we all want to enjoy our work. We want it to be a pleasurable experiences, right? So one key thing I see is developing emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is basically, um, you know, it's basically having the skill to understand, being aware of your own emotions, right? Anger, frustration, they're all emotions. The moment we become aware of it, finding your way to work with it, and then express it in a healthy way. Yeah. And how can work can be more pleasurable? The more we have a curiosity mindset, work becomes fun for us. The idea is to develop curiosity. Okay. I see one question in the Q&A section. What is emotional intelligence at workplace? Emotional intelligence is basically regulating your emotions, regulating all of your feelings. And that feelings could be, negative state of feelings like anger. It could be frustration. It could be irritation, or it could be positive state like developing empathy, right? So we need to have a healthy balance of our feelings and emotions if we have to work. And emotional intelligence is the greatest need today, because the more and more machines are coming into our lives, we'll need to regulate our emotions first. Find that emotional stability and work with everybody else. Okay. Okay, explain mindsets to change from fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So Mayur, I would say mindset is more of a perspective, how we look at things. है ना? So when we were kids, do you remember we used to solve puzzles? Do you all remember solving puzzles, challenges, how fun it used to be, right? They were like micro challenges in itself, but then the way when we saw it, the way we perceived it, we saw it as an opportunity, we saw it as a challenge to solve. That's a growth mindset. Okay? So mindset is basically our perspective, how we look at life. I see one feedback, changing scenario. Will it be good to change or adapt new things and multiple things in one time? Vidhu, can you elaborate a little on that, please? Help me understand that in a better way.
Meanwhile, I'll allow Diljit to speak with the ma'am, so you can go ahead.
Okay. Okay, great. I see AI has automated many things, but it's also making less regulation. And nowadays, keywords are working. Absolutely. That's where it becomes very critical for us to learn and adapt, learn the language of the AI when you're talking to the AI, and learn the language of the humans when you're talking to the humans. That language of humans is emotional intelligence. Yes? Are you with me on this? Yes. I see one more question. What is important for a fresher to adapt and grow? The best thing about the fresher is as a fresher, we are so open to learning. We've got so much of drive and curiosity to learn, isn't it? Yes. So work on those skills. Technical skills, functional skills, you're anyway learning, that you're required to do so. But please work on your power skills. Work on adaptability, communication, collaboration, and there are so many resources to work. Okay, wonderful. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your patience with me, and thank you for responding so actively in this webinar.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful sessions, and it's really a good motivation sessions to all of us who are looking for a future ahead. And heartfelt thank you to you too as once again. And you know what made today's session so special is that you didn't just talk about changes, you actually help us prepare for it. So that's a very different thing, and it made all the differences that we need to get it from the session. And thank you all the audience who have joined for this sessions, and we hope again we will see you in the next Friday musings. And that session is for all our parents, right, how to choose the right education board for their children and the colleague that we have with us. So please go ahead and register for the session as it is already listed into our portal. So thank you so much everyone.